Good morning, and welcome to V3 of Buidler Fest. It's been my pleasure to be at all of these things so far and come up here and continue to yap. So, when I was thinking about what to talk about, something that's been near and dear to my heart has been Cardano URIs. So, we've had these things in the CIP repository for about 6 years now, but our adoption of them has been pretty abysmal so far. So, I wanted to get a bunch of nerds in the room and figure out how we can improve the UX. Because the blockchain UX is still broken. When you're at your point of sale, when you're scrolling through Twitter and somebody says, hey, buy my token that's coming out, how do you do that? How do you go from Twitter to your wallet in an easy and seamless way? Cardano URIs make that happen, but right now you have to open your wallet, try to figure out which address you're sending money to. Hopefully you copy it down right and don't get attacked. Hopefully there's no typos. So the idea, scan a QR code, tap an NFC chip. Your wallet opens automatically. The transaction's ready to go. You get an airdrop. You get to buy your token, lend Iagon, or do whatever else you're trying to do. So again, here's my relatively recent example of how this works. So I was recently on Twitter on my phone, and I saw a post from Iagon saying that they had a bunch of loans available on Fluid token. But how do I actually go and execute that if I'm a mobile-first, mobile-only user? So currently, I tap a link in X. It opens the X in-app browser. Fluid token loads, and there's a nice big connect your wallet button that doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything. Why? Because I don't have a SIP30 wallet inside of that X app browser. So there's no injected wallet. So now I have to copy the URL manually, open my wallet, figure out where the wallet's in-app browser is, paste that URL back in, and then maybe I can actually connect my wallet and sign. So recently at Rare Evo, we demoed CIP 158, which is a browse authority for Cardano URIs. So what we can do is tap a link in the X app. We go to the website. It detects that there's no wallets available, and so it can give you a QR code to scan with your mobile wallet or an open in wallet button that can deep link and go directly into the app. So here, what you see at the bottom is essentially a Web plus Cardano URI that tells the wallet that detects that specifically to browse to the given URI, and you can complete that action in 2 steps instead of 6. So how do URIs solve this problem? So quick rundown if you're not familiar. Every URI has a scheme, should have an authority. I know, Matthew, there's a little bit of argument about whether or not that's a proper authority or not. A path, and then a query. So you're probably used to this, seeing regular URLs for web browsing, but this Web plus Cardano concept originated back in the late teens, I believe, with Bitcoin originally. And so why do we have the Web plus prefix? Because browsers, if you're using a non-whitelisted URI, has to begin with Web plus, essentially. So Bitcoin : is now an accepted scheme in a lot of browsers, but Cardano, we're not quite there yet, so we're still using this Web plus Cardano. So we tell it this is a Web plus Cardano link that lets your wallet know, hey, I know what to do with that. The authority says what type of action I'm taking, and then your path and query obviously fill in all the rest of the details. So this is what we have currently. So we started with CIP 13 way back in the day, thanks to Sebastian Guillemot and Robert Fair, and that handles some very simplistic payments. So you can do Web plus Cardano, an address, and then optionally an amount. And so the wallet should prepare to execute that transfer. Then we added a stake authority, which essentially should allow you to instantly delegate to any stake pool. You guys might be familiar with proof of onboarding that Hosky and I then introduced via CIP 99, which is to claim an airdrop. And then more recently, we had Pi introduce the transaction and block references. So the idea here is that you can have a web URI that takes you directly to a specific point in the chain. So if you want to provide provenance of something. More recently than that, we had this concept, I believe that came from a member of the Catalyst team, which just describes various addresses that you can deep link into. And then, of course, like we already showed, the CIP 158, the browse authority. And then more recently, we've added CIP 157 and 162 to expand our payment options to allow us to send and receive native assets. and then, of course, delegating directly to a DREP. So the different standards and what they do, I kind of went over this already, but our origin story here is CIP 13 with payment URIs. So again, the wallet should just open and have a send dialog pre-filled with an address and optionally an ADA amount. And so I was using this back in 2021 for NFT drops when a lot of users were only on URI mobile, and they had no way to easily copy down the address, get it into their wallet, and then make sure they sent the right amount. So having a well-structured URI just gives a cleaner way to go between that physical to mobile connection. So you're on your desktop browsing, you want to send a payment, scan a QR code, and then your mobile wallet can take care of it. Like I said, one-tap delegation. So if you imagine you're a stake pool operator and you're out at an event like this and you're advertising yourself, how do you actually instruct a user to delegate to your stake pool? Again, right now you have to instruct them, open your wallet, maybe go to a desktop, figure out what my DREP ID is. Hopefully you copy it down right. Hopefully it's not a script DREP and it has a weird prefix or something else. Embed a QR code into your banners or business cards and you're good to go. Proof of onboarding, also known as POO. I know everybody hates that, but I'm still a fan. So again, what do? We generate a QR code. Your wallet knows, okay, I'm going to scan this QR. I'm going to send your address and whatever other information to the back end. That back end can do whatever validation to make sure whether you've received an airdrop already, whether you're eligible for whatever reason, and then we send the tokens directly to your wallet. So again, with this one URI that can be easily QR encoded, we can do a direct airdrop to a user's wallet. And so 107, again, this is Pi's contribution to Cardano URIs. So we can reference a specific block on the chain or a specific point in the ledger history, useful for governance and audit trails. And then we can look at a specific transaction. So if I want to show that a specific transaction had a certain datum at a certain point in time, again, these are just kind of like quick, easy references that you could be using to cross-link governance actions and things like that. To basically increase your data availability. Again, without copy this weird transaction hash, find an explorer, go figure out where to paste it in to figure out what information you're trying to get. So the address representations here, again, this is just how the spec is defined. I'm not sure exactly what the Catalyst team had in mind with these URIs and exactly where they would be most useful. But again, most likely pulling up an explorer to show maybe the CC's voting record or the DREP's voting record or to see a balance of a stake or a payment address. And so again, our browse application, this basically removes the need for like a wallet connect, essentially, or it provides an easier way to do wallet connect without having RPC servers and a lot of back and forth communication. Essentially, the wallet just knows how to open up the URL that you're looking at. And so again, this is, I think, the best solution for when we combine this digital to physical world. So if I'm at a kiosk and I want to pay an ADA, how am I actually going to execute that? This could be used, you can have this URI that has a unique session nonce so that I can pull up your same session from the desktop in your mobile app and allow you to complete and finalize the payment without a whole lot of hassle, a whole lot of trouble getting it set up. And then enhanced payments, obviously near and dear to all of our hearts. We just got USDC X, which is our 6th or 7th stablecoin on chain, but we don't have a really good way to go out and use that in the real world, right? How am I going to pay without installing a custom app? I've already got a wallet. I've already got USDM or USDC or USDA or any of the other XYZs in my wallet. I just want to pay for something. So this hopefully will allow you to send a native asset. So it's essentially an extension of the original CIP 13, which only allowed for Lovelace transactions, ADA transactions. Here we can actually specify metadata that can be used to identify those transactions within your point of sale system. And you can also send native assets. So that's the idea there. And then DREP links, again, this is a natural extension of if stake pools want people to easily and quickly be able to delegate to them, so do the governance people, right? Everybody wants more power in governance. So this just kind of gives you, this could be used as a shortcut to show your DREP profile, or also your wallet could just automatically have a quick delegate to button. So again, we minimize the friction. We put it at the wallet point instead of everybody has to create their own transactions to figure out how to delegate to a DREP. So opportunities, where does this make sense? I've been kind of leading into this, but obviously point of sale, your browse and pay is going to be huge for in-app or real-world payments that aren't, strictly speaking, happening only in the digital realm. Event kiosks, if you want to give people a proof of attendance token, if you want to have them delegate to your DREP or to your stake pool. Governance, again, DREPs can easily advertise themselves and make it easy to find and delegate to them. Tipping and donations via simple CIP13 or the new pay authority. SPO marketing, and then of course token launches, right? So everybody wants to get their token out there by airdrops, and CIP99 makes that pretty quick and easy to do. And so here is the various authors and editors that have contributed to Cardano URIs over the years. I realize my name is up there a heck of a lot. Like I said, this has been near and dear to my heart. We do have a Cardano problem statement that we created in 2024 that kind of tries to organize these all together under an umbrella and give us a place to percolate new ideas in terms of how we could use these URIs to improve the user experience. So, but you can see it has taken a community of people throughout the years to get here. And so hopefully this is only the beginning. But again, 6 years on, and I don't remember if I got it in the slide or not, but Mad Orchestra, Mad, who recently wrote CIP 162 for the DREP authority, created a little mini UI to show how many wallets don't support even CIP 13 yet, because the support is not really there. So hopefully if we can get more apps and users using Cardano URIs, we provide that pressure to the entire ecosystem to give us a more reliable, standardized way of providing that support. Alexi.
Is the year right 2020 for DREPs?
What?
Is the year 2020? Was it 162, right?
Oh, CPS 16 was 2024.
162.
Oh, yeah, that year is incorrect. Yeah, that one should be 2026. I missed that one in my editing. But yeah, so what can we do right now? Ask our wallet devs to stop making custom solutions and start using standards that have been developed and been through peer review in the community. We can ask our dApp devs to figure out good ways to actually embed this into their UX. Project teams, Hosky has an open source version of CIP99, so anybody can go out there and run it. I just released a new one called Onboard Ninja, which is now publicly open source, so anybody can run their own airdrop system. And then, of course, join the discussion in the CIP authors and editors channel, so we can get better and more reviews and feedback. How to implement, I wrote a cool little Cardano URI parser in TypeScript that goes through every single CIP, so you can validate and test if you're correctly encoding or decoding. And then, yeah, it's published to NPM, it's good to go. Make sure you're using the right authority for your use case, construct the URIs on the server side, encode your query parameters, make it into a QR or a quick link, and then test. Vesper and Yoroi currently have the best support of all the wallets that we've tested. And then, yeah, if you add something new, add it to CPS 16 so that people can actually find your resources, essentially. And so, yeah, what's missing? NFC touchpoints has still been kind of tricky because you need a native app to actually get NFC because the browsers in your mobile phone don't really reliably let you use the NFC. Governance voting URIs, can we make that easier for mobile-first users so that they don't have to do a whole bunch of weird copy and pasting around? We're trying to get CIP 157 and 162 better adoption. We need some better error handling across all of these different URIs when they start getting used so that if something's not working correctly, the wallets can provide a more consistent standard. And then again, more wallet support for the browse authority, and how do we discover and increase the amount of tooling available to the ecosystem. So yeah, that's it. Thank you, and start building. I should have done that but I don't think that is. I think it just goes to my social profile if I'm not mistaken. But all right, any questions? Any thoughts? Oh. All right, I'm going to blame that on Claude as well. So, Chris, yeah.
Can we add message signing?
Message signing, yeah.
Like SIP8.
Yeah, actually, so I had an idea for like an authentication endpoint, which would do something like essentially provide the nonce payload that you want to just get a signature back from that wallet. But yeah, I mean, we can add any of those things, but we need people to have the ideas and get them out there. So yeah, that's actually, all right, let's do it. Right, anybody else? Anything? Questions? Good ideas of how you're going to implement this into your DApp or application tomorrow?
Can you maybe describe a success story, something where you've seen it applied and the experience was what you expected?
Well, yeah. So I mean, I think CIP 99, our POO standard has been the best, adoption use case. People have seen that happen at probably every major Cardano event they've been to over the last 3 or 4 years. And if you recall back in the day, what we had to do if we wanted to give somebody an airdrop is actually like print out a seed phrase and be like, here you go, bro, like go restore this into a wallet and then transfer the tokens over to your regular wallet. Don't trust that one because I've obviously seen that seed phrase before. And so there was a ton of user friction, right? Because then we had to explain to them what a seed phrase is or, everything else. And so again, CIP 99 has probably been the most widely adopted and used success in terms of using these URIs effectively. So you can just scan a QR code with any of your mobile wallets, or all of our wallets support CIP 99, and get those tokens delivered within minutes to your address. Clark has a question in the back.
Yeah, in Ethereum, we're able to like send actual consumption payload to the wallet.
So like in Ethereum, like MetaMask, right? Like dApps are able to like make you click a button and send the actual transaction payload to the wallet. What's your thoughts on that?
So we have that. That would be this guy, CIP 157, which should give you a QR code or a clickable button, and then your wallet is going to load up and know exactly what you want to send, inject metadata, inject, like an identifier for that transaction.
But will it support like custom transactions with like smart contracts and stuff?
So I haven't figured out a good way, because the problem here is that would probably work on a button on a web page where you can have a full-length URL, but when you get into URI encoding it, if you have too much data in there, all of a sudden your QR becomes really difficult to scan. So it's not impossible. It's not currently in spec, but it's definitely something that I thought about, is how could you actually execute a smart contract directly via this. So yeah, that needs some more thought. So if you have them, feel free. This one, I believe, is not merged yet, so feel free to help us figure out how to add that to the standard. Oh, yes, Adrian. Oh, hang on, wait for the...
Hey, okay, so two things. One, how can PWA wallets support you all with this standard? And on the other side, remember guys, my only suggestion regarding all these things, in general with Cardano, is try to find ways to not opinionate too much each of the features you're offering in a way that you can foresee the future. You're future-proof. So how we solve these kind of things is with a DSL and with intents. So if you use a DSL, for example, for these kind of things, try to make it as short as possible. It's hard, but it's possible. So this is how smart contracts, for example, are supported on our wallet. And any Cardano thing. And last thing, for example, we have GCFS. It's on-chain storage for things like this. So when the URL is too big to be, on a QR code, you can just store half of it on-chain, like on EVMs, but not exactly. The code will be there, but not for the L1, but for the client-side software. Those are my 2 cents. And regarding support for, what can I do from my standpoint to support you? I don't know. If there is a way and you have thought of, would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the problem is that I'm reluctant to put this URL out there in public if I know that most people in their wallet, they're going to go and try to scan it and their wallet's not going to know what to do with it and just it fails, right? Because then I gave a worse UX than just telling people to hopefully copy and paste my address and send me some ADA. So really ensuring that, and we've seen it a little bit where wallets have started to diverge, and so they all have their own way, like Begin uses begin : / and you can do these payment URLs, right? But that only works for Begin, and then we don't want Game Changer having to try to support 3 different standards. So really the most important thing I think is for, if you're a wallet dev or you're an app dev, get involved in the CIPs to know what standards are coming up so you don't spend time reinventing the wheel. We implement shared standards because shared standards are what allow for this actual interoperability of function to coexist, because I know you've struggled getting the DSL more widely accepted. And so maybe that answer is that we have to find this common ground somewhere, whether that's the CIP repository or events like this where we can actually share these ideas, beat them up until they're good, and so then they can become a standard and then people can interoperate with them.